What is up, everybody? Vanguard One here, and welcome back to another video. Now, it's been a while since we've had a little face-to-face talk, and I feel like with all the news about Overtriggers coming out, it's about time I got back into a little vlog thing to talk about some of the mechanics, or know some of the cards, maybe some of the decks. We'll just have to wait and see what pops in my brain. But for this video, there's one thing I want to talk about, one thing only, and that are the Overtriggers that are coming to the new format of Vanguard. Now, let me explain very briefly, in case you've been living under a rock. What the Overtriggers are is basically, they give 100 million power, they act as a free heal, and they do something different based on what deck you're playing. Now that we got that explanation out of the way, there's one thing I want to address, and you get it because it's address, sorry, bad joke. There's one thing I want to address when it comes to the Overtriggers about the game. Now, I've seen mixed reviews, mainly. When we first saw the Overtrigger, the Cray Elemental one, in the live stream for the first reveal of Overdress, people were ecstatic. This was just something new. It was completely insane. We didn't know what was going to be about it. But now that we've seen what the other Overtriggers do, it's led to some controversy, for lack of a better term. And that's what I want to talk about in this video. So basically what I did is I went on the Vanguardians Facebook page. If you don't know what it is, go ahead and join it. It has all the information you may need and or want about Vanguard, including some trading, some selling, and stuff like that. But plugins aside, I went on the Vanguardians Facebook page and asked the community, why do you think Overtriggers are so bad? And please be respectful, because we know, as with humanity, it tends to get a little nasty when it comes to disagreeing with things. And so I've selected 3 answers which I think are perfectly acceptable and not at all rude towards me in any shape or form, and give my thoughts and opinions about it. Now, quick disclaimer before I go into these answers for my question. I am not going to be showing any names of the people who are answered, and in fact, as soon as you're watching this video, I will have taken my post down. So in case you wanted to go and troll anybody for giving their honest answers about this question, you won't have the chance to do it. So, for the first answer as why they think Overtriggers are bad in Vanguard is one name, Ultima. Yeah, so in case you don't know what the Keter Sanctuary Overtrigger does, Keter Sanctuary is basically the new what was it, Royal Sanctuary, I think it's called. I forgot their names, honestly. But basically what it does is when the Overtrigger is checked, it gives all your rear guards, front row rear guards, drive checks when they attack. And as you know, with Ultima does, all the rear guards get the abilities of what you check from your drives. Now, I will agree with this. When it comes to premium, because I was only thinking about Overdress format specifically, when it comes to premium, I do think you need to make a choice restriction. So you can either use the Zeroth or Progenitor Dragons, or the Overtriggers in your deck. You can't use both, because that would make premium just so much more unhealthy than it already is. Answer number 2 to my question. With me, it's the plus 100 mil power. Should have been just like plus 20k, a lot of power but not hopeless to defend against. I kind of agree with this. The plus 100 million power is obviously in this game a lot. I don't think there's been a unit that's come close to gaining that kind of power through any means necessary. We even had the NLK loop, and as I remember, the NLK loop got pretty big. I think the idea is they just wanted to make it so big, so over-exaggeratingly absurd amount of power, just so when you drive check it or damage check it, it feels that much more intense, I want to say, when it actually does come up in a game. Because otherwise, if it's just playing plus 20,000 power, depending on how the future state of the game is, that's not going to matter. Whether or not they power creep the game like they did with V format, which hopefully they don't. From what we've seen so far with all the decks, it looks like it's going to be a very fair game state. But I think that's the whole reason between the 100 mil, because with plus 20k, it just doesn't feel like it would do much. In the early state of the game we are now, plus 20k would actually do a lot. But I feel like as the game progresses, it just wouldn't do enough to where it would matter. Now, for the third and final answer, because I don't want to take up too many of your people's times, we have possibly the longest answer from the question. And this person states, very simple, Vanguard is a game of luck and is already hard to maintain control of the game. This has also involved a lot of mastery to do it. By implementing the Overtrigger, I don't even know how they got this idea, You are taking the last part and just leave it like a luck game. I feel like that could have been worded better. In basic Vanguard, yeah. In basic, yeah, Vanguard should be a game to have fun, but in competitive talking, if someone takes weeks or months building a deck, strategies, practicing strategies, or any other form of training just because they want to get better in the game and win some prize, and someone wins just by getting an Overtrigger, this will not only be very devastating, not only for the people who will quit, but also for the game itself. You can make a mechanism that rewards bad players or people that win with luck, and believe that the game will be better this way. Also, Bushiroad doesn't help too much doing best of one in regionals. Imagine spending thousands of dollars just to get violated by a sacking Overtrigger. That aside, I do see where he's come from, because yeah, obviously it sucks to lose just by sacking on people. I've sacked people, I've been sacked, I'm pretty sure almost every Vanguard player has lost because of some kind of trigger sacking. And when it comes to getting sacked by an Overtrigger, I'm sure that's going to feel awful, but the thing about Vanguard that a lot of people seem to miss, or that they don't even seem to miss, they just seem to ignore, is this game was always meant to give people a fighting chance, if that makes sense. Let me explain myself. The whole point of the luck system in Vanguard is so players can't control the entire game. Let's take Yu-Gi-Oh! For example. You can control almost everything you do in Yu-Gi-Oh! You can control what you do, you can basically control what you draw, what you summon, what you activate, what your opponent activates, what you decide your opponent to activate, and what they do at the end of their turn. Players can have so much control over the game state in Yu-Gi-Oh! That it makes sense why competitive play is so difficult to get into. The great thing about Vanguard, at least in my opinion, is that you can't have complete control over a game state. Yes, you can be completely overpowering your opponent through sheer tactics and just overwhelming with your possibly superior cards, but you will never be able to control what they can and can't do. That's why we have things like damage checks and drive checks, because those checks are supposed to help keep you in the game. Obviously, that doesn't always work out, and that's just part of the game. That's how the cookie crumbles. But that's why things like Miracle Healing, when you 6 damage heal, or if you just get like 4 triggers in your damage zone when your opponent was meant to put you at 6 that turn, that's why those things exist. All the Overtrigger does is enforce that idea of Vanguard to where you can stay in the game just by a little luck. And honestly, I think that's what's great about Vanguard, is if you have a little luck, it's not always skill, because guess what, if you're going up against a player less inexperienced by you, because like this person said, there are some people who are always going to go out there and try and make themselves better at the game, and that's great. But for someone who's just starting off with the game and doesn't know what they're doing, getting saved by that Overtrigger will probably give them a sense of hope in this game state that they're finding themselves in, whether they're being completely demolished by their opponent or they're just standing toe-to-toe for whatever reason. So yes, while this can kind of affect competitive play, if there is any in Vanguard, I know competitive and Vanguard aren't two words that usually go together. It does exist nonetheless. There are people who take this game very seriously, myself included. I don't take this game overly seriously, but I do like to take it seriously to an extent, to where I can still enjoy it, where I'm not forcing myself to play meta just so I can win. I enjoy winning, but I don't enjoy playing what I don't like. Now, that will be the end of this video. Let me know what you thought of this kind of video style in the comments below. I kind of want to try and get the community more involved as it can be, because as you know, I'm not the biggest Vanguard tuber out there. So I'm just trying to do what I can, mainly, when it comes to content. Let me know what you think of Overtriggers for Overdress, Premium, V Premium, whatever you want, in the comments below as well. And what deck are you looking forward to playing? Because mainly I'm looking forward to playing Bastion, my boy, Keter Sanctuary main for life. I know me and Ezel Senpai are in the same boat there. But yeah, I will see you guys in the next video. Don't forget to wear your masks and use hand sanitizers. But until then, bye-bye.